guys, it's me, Paps. That's P to the A to the P to the S, Paps. And I'm here with the good news. I mean the really good news, and I'm glad y'all could join us today. Man, we got so much good news, I don't even know where to start. As you can see, we've got presents to open. We got lots of fun stuff to watch. We got lots of cool things to talk about. We're gonna visit all kinds of groovy places. There's no telling where our journey's gonna take us. So I'll tell you what, kids, hang on to your hats and let's go!
I'm up really high now. I'm on top of the world. Ooh, it's time for me to land this puppy now. I'm really not very good at this.
Okay, guys, I think Christmas morning might be my favorite day in the whole wide world because there's always presents. Hey, which morning is your favorite day in the whole wide world? Good answer.
This is a huge fire station.
Man, I've always wanted one of those. So I'm gonna jump right into the fun part right now. Of course, I'm talking about opening a present. I wonder what it could be. Maybe a musical instrument. Or a dinosaur. Or maybe it's a time machine. It's David and McQueen! Hey, let's open this bad boy up. Oh, needs batteries. Oh, need a screwdriver. Do y'all know Lightning McQueen? He's a really famous race car. He races all over the world, like in front of a gazillion people. But you know what? Sometimes when you're winning all the time and you have all that fame, it's so easy to become arrogant or overconfident. Like take, for example, the time that Lightning McQueen ended up in the tiny little desert town of Radiator Springs. Let's see what happens.
The deal was you fix the road, not make it worse. I'll scrape it off. Start over again.
Hey, look, Grandpa, I'm not a bulldozer. I'm a race car.
Oh, is that right? Then why don't we just have a little race, me and you?
What? Me and you. Is that a joke? Speed. I'm speed. Float like a Cadillac, sting like a Beamer.
Start your engine!
See what happens when you get arrogant and overconfident? Not for me. No, thank you. Now, let's journey all the way across the ocean to a country called England. Now, in the countryside of England, there was another really, really cool car. His name was Chitty Bang Bang. That's a funny name, Chitty Bang Bang. But he wasn't a famous race car. As a matter of fact, when some people first saw him, they didn't like him. Some people even said mean things about him. Watch this.
That's a nice pile of junk you got there, my boy.
Did you hear what that man said? Now, I'll admit, Chitty was a little like old Paps in the beginning. Kind of old and rusty and didn't run too well. You could call him the underdog. Somebody who feels like they just can't win. But guess what? Chitty found a friend named Karaticus Potts. And boy, was he a good friend. See, Karaticus had faith in Chitty and a vision. That means he could imagine just how great Chitty could be. No matter how old and rusty and beat up Chitty was, Karaticus still had faith. So now, let's check out what can happen with a little bit of faith and a little bit of vision.
What do you think of it?
She's the most beautiful thing I ever saw in my life. It's wonderful. Oh, Daddy, you're so clever.
Oh, yes.
Can we go?
So check this out. Not only does Chitty look great and run like the wind, but guess what else? He can fly.
What's happening? Oh, it's fantastic. Oh, you're a genius.
It's nothing, really.
You know, all this talk about Chitty and lightning reminds me of a couple of other guys that lived like thousands of years ago. Now, one of these guys was arrogant and overconfident, and he won all the time. You might have heard of him. His name was Goliath, and he was a giant, the tallest, biggest dude that ever walked in the whole wide world. And he was in the Philistine army, and he had never, ever been defeated. Now, the other guy was a boy named David, and he wasn't that old, like 7th or 8th grade, or maybe 9th, or maybe 6th. I don't know. I didn't know him that well. We went to different schools. Anyway, after school every day, David's job was to be a shepherd for his father's sheep. And this was not an easy job to do, because there was lions and tigers and bears. Oh my, lions and tigers and bears. Boy, that's a different story. But there were many ferocious beasts that David had to protect his father's sheep from. Now, one day, David came home for lunch, and his father told him, "David, your brother's away with the army, the Hebrew army, which were the mortal enemies of the Philistine army and the giant Goliath." So, David's father Jesse told him he needed to take a basket of food to his brothers. So he took the basket. He arrived to find both armies facing each other in a great valley. Hebrews on one side, the Philistines on the other. And standing right out in front of the Philistine army, who do you think it was? That's right, the giant Goliath. And he was screaming at the top of his lungs, saying,
"I challenge any man in the Hebrew army to fight me 1-on-1. If you win, then the Philistines will be your slaves. But if I win, then the Hebrews will be our slaves."
Now remember, Goliath was a giant and had never been beaten. Sounds a little bit arrogant and overconfident, kind of like Lightning McQueen was. So nobody in the Hebrew army was brave enough to fight him. Now when David saw this, he thought to himself, the Lord has protected me while I have been shepherding my father's sheep, so I know he'll protect me in battle. But kind of like Chitty Chitty Bang Bang, nobody had faith in David. They all told him, "Oh, you're too young. You're just a boy. You need to go home and tend to your sheep." But David would not be deterred. He had more faith and vision than the entire Hebrew army.
You're no soldier, you're a shepherd.
Yes, a shepherd. As I protect my sheep, God will protect me.
Where is your faith? Where is your God?
I will kill him.
So King Saul came to David and said, "Here, take my sword and shield." But it was too heavy for David. And besides, David never used a sword and a shield to protect his father's sheep. Why would he need one now?
You'll need this.
You know what he did use? An old-timey slingshot. So forward marched David to face the giant, armed with nothing but his faith and a slingshot. Can you imagine?
Yea, do I walk in the valley of the shadow of death, I fear no evil.
Well, of course, as you probably know, whenever David stepped out to face the giant, the entire Philistine army started laughing and making fun of him. It's kind of hard to be the underdog sometimes, but that didn't faze David.
Don't waste my time, little boy. You're too young to die.
I will fight you!
Now, as Goliath began to come at David, David reached in his pocket and pulled out a stone and put it in his sling. He asked God to please help to guide his shot. Round and round and round it went, and wham! Boom! Right there! The giant fell right where he stood. David was victorious, and the Hebrew people were so happy that in a few years they made David their king. Wow. Wouldn't that be cool to be a king? But check this out. We can be, because we all face those battles in our life every day. And just like Goliath, they look big and scary. Whether it's a test at school, or maybe thunder and lightning, or the boogeyman, or scary clowns, it doesn't matter. When you're feeling something that has you worried or scared, if you just have faith and rely on Jesus, He will never let us down. Wow, isn't that great to know? So remember, guys, arrogance, overconfidence will get you in trouble every time. Just like lightning back in that cactus patch, or even worse, like Goliath, defeated in battle. But remember, with a little bit of faith and a little bit of vision, that means keeping your eyes on Jesus, we can overcome. Just like Karatekas Potts had a vision for Chitty Chitty Bang Bang, and David, whose faith was stronger than the entire Hebrew army. We can have all that and more, thanks to Jesus. All right, guys, thanks for joining us. That's about all the time I've got for today. But what? What do you mean? I forgot what? Oh, wow! We've got another present to open. Time to open the present. I wonder what this one can be. Maybe it's a spaceship or a robot. Maybe it's a Barbie doll. It's the new Lightning McQueen. It's fabulous Lightning McQueen and 4 of his friends. I think he learned his lesson. He's not arrogant or overconfident anymore. Oh, what a joyful day! I'm gonna play with him right now. Ladies and gentlemen, I would like to introduce you to my new friends. This is Junior Moon. This is River Scott. This is Louise Nash. And of course, the original Lightning McQueen. And next to him, the new and improved, fabulous Lightning McQueen. And finally, last but not least, Donico Cruz Ramirez. All right, guys, that's really all the time we have for today. But please be sure and follow us on Facebook and subscribe on YouTube. And remember, God loves you and old Paps loves you. We'll see you next time.